Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rantz, Tommy Krysan, Hump Day edition. TK over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I am at an undisclosed location. TK, of course, we're presented by Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, LASportshall.com, rocking the shirt. Headed on a little Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame business. Headed over to Kansas City this morning, going to the College Baseball Hall of Fame. The induction ceremonies for this year are tomorrow night. Going to go see how they do things, meet with their CEO, president while I'm there. I'll also help present the Skip Burtman Award to the National Coach of the Year for 2025. Lori Burtman, Skip Burtman's daughter, will be there as well, representing the family. And the Skip Burtman Award this year going to Brad Neffendorf, the head coach of LSU Shreveport, who went 59-0 last year in the NAI, won the national championship, set a national record for wins in a row. And so going to go see Coach Neffendorf, present him with his award. Look forward to Mark McGuire also getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Do you know that Mark McGuire and I have something in common, Tommy? Like Mark McGuire and I, we weren't teammates. He's older than I am. He played on the '84 Olympics with Will Clark. But there's a direct tie to Mark McGuire and myself, and it has nothing to do with steroids.
Okay, I'm curious, and I'll tell you my tie to Mark McGuire. Go ahead.
Both he and I played for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in the Alaskan Summer Collegiate Baseball League. He played, I think, circa '83 or something like that, and I played in '91, summer of '91,
All
along
right,
with
that's
Mike
pretty
Neal.
cool. All right, cool. All right, hey, I got a picture. Remember, there used to be Major League Baseball exhibition in the Superdome. A lot of
Yep.
times, the Yankees would break camp in Lauderdale and play a two-game series maybe in the Superdome. But one year they played Oakland A's, and I had a press pass. I have a picture, like it's not on the phone. It's like the old-fashioned picture. I'm standing between Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco, the Bash brothers. They're in their A's uni. It's like during BP when the A's were taking practice. And Ronnie, I'm not a little guy. I look little standing between McGuire and Canseco.
Those were great. I remember going late '70s, early '80s into the dome with my dad. I remember going and seeing Goose Gossage, who you couldn't see the ball, you could just hear the sound when it hit the mitt. Ron Guidry, of course, was why a lot of people went. I remember the Mets went there a few times as well. It was a lot of fun. Um, TK, so I am on my way to the airport, and I got to tell you an unbelievable story what just happened. So I'm on the phone with my former LSU teammate Louis Garcia, who was over in Puerto Rico watching the Super Bowl, the home of Bad Bunny, Puerto Rico, with a big group of guys that I know that were playing in a golf tournament over there at the Four Seasons, and so he and I are catching up. He's telling me about his weekend, whatever the case may be. I go through the drive-through at Chick-fil-A. I love my Chick-fil-A experience. It's amazing. It's a good value. It's so fast, so friendly, so easy. So I get my normal. I get the number one, add American cheese. I get the two mayo packets, get the ketchup with the hash browns. I get the Diet Dr. Pepper. It's $7.97. I swipe the card. I'm up, waiting in line. I'm on the phone with Louis talking. They give me my Diet Dr. Pepper, and I drove off. I didn't get the bag with the food. I
What, you
drove
thought
off.
you put the bag on the seat, you thought?
Yeah, I was just distracted by the whole conversation and all the things, and I drove off. And now here's the catch 22. I'm pot committed. I'm too far down the road. I can't turn around and go back and get it, or I'm gonna be late for my flight. So yeah. So you're welcome, Chick-fil-A. I paid $8 for a Diet Dr. Pepper, but
Well, hey, things happen. It's probably not the first time somebody's done that. Hopefully, it's
I
not the
mean,
last.
I think that's God telling me I didn't need to be all eating all those calories. But
Well,
anyway,
you'll get something at the airport, I'm sure.
yeah, it cost me a lot more than $8.
Yeah,
That's
you
for
get
sure.
like a $14 muffin at the airport.
Yeah. Anyway, can't believe I did that. But baseball of a week, of course. You look, NAIA, the JUCO, all that stuff's already started a couple of weeks ago. But and speaking of LSU Shreveport, I think they've already lost 2 games this year, so no more 59-0 like they did last year. But and the LSU, of course, in Division I college baseball starts on Friday. Lots of teams here in the state of Louisiana have home games. The McNeese has got a home series against Sam Houston. I know the Southeastern Lions are at home this Saturday. Raging Cajuns, you name it. But LSU playing at 2 o'clock on Friday. They're doing a big fair, pregame thing starting at 11 o'clock with fun jumps and kids zone, all that kind of stuff. Going to be a lot of fun. I will be there back in town. I think just in time for the game. Looking forward to it. The uh, this LSU baseball team has so much there are so many expectations, Tommy, and that I'm really curious to see how Jay Johnson and his team do with the whole NIL and the transfer portal and all that. The last 5 years, the teams that win the national championship, the next year, the season isn't as good. Um, LSU wasn't as good in 24 as they were, after coming off the national championship. They lost in a regional at North Carolina. So I'm curious to see how they respond with winning a national title, and can they, repeat or live up to the expectations, which are at least get to Omaha. Are you able to hear me, Tommy?
I have a little trouble with the connection there. I know Ryan's trying to board an airplane. We'll hang in there with you for a minute. There's a little bit of a connection issue, I believe, with Ronnie.
You got me.
Don't
You
forget,
got me now.
today's Wednesday. That means every Wednesday, $6.99 for burger and fries right here at Tremonti's. You can dine in. You can get it. They are expecting a big crowd for Valentine's, all that good stuff. But come get your Wednesday hamburger and get ready for Valentine's Day at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Get the right bottle of wine, get the steak, whatever.
So TK, I don't know where I dropped off. I was talking here. You fine? I don't know that you had some issues with
Yeah,
me.
I gave it a minute. Yeah, we good. You jumped out, but we good.
But anyway, I was talking to just kind of mentioning how the expectations for LSU baseball are through the roof, and they have a very patsy non-conference schedule outside of the 3 games they
Yeah,
play in Jacksonville. Um, even if I mean, this is a team that's probably going to be 15-2 or 16-2 or something like that before they play anybody.
I agree with you. You got Indiana, Notre Dame, and Central Florida down in Jacksonville. Some of the Sports Shorts Daily fans that we have in that area are going to that game. So, yeah, it is a pretty soft pre-conference schedule. But as you said, we'll see how Jay Johnson manages everything the year after a title, which we've seen that story the last several years, whether it was Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU. It has happened. There's something to it that we have enough data to make it a statement.
Well, what's curious is that it's understandable, particularly schools like Ole Miss and Mississippi State. They had never won a national championship, so it's natural to have a little bit of a celebratory hangover effect. But now LSU, by winning two of their championships in the last 3 years, there's an expectation now. I don't think it's as shocking that they won a national championship last year as it was in 23. It'd been a minute, been since '09 since they won it. It was Jay Johnson's second year. But now with the turnover being so dramatic, where you have, almost a whole new roster the following year, um, outside of people that outfield, right? That outfield that's returning, Milam who's returning, outside of those four players and a few pitchers, everybody else is brand new. They want to go get their ring. They want to go get that national championship. They want to experience Omaha. So it's different than having a team that's, 2/3 of your team is back from a year ago, and maybe there could be that hangover effect because we've been there and done that. All these guys are hungry because they haven't been there and done that.
Yeah, I think that's going to serve LSU well, and that's the landscape of college baseball now. And Jay Johnson, you just got to defer to him. I think he'll handle the mental aspect of it, especially as we go forward down the season.
The good thing about Jay Johnson is that the comparison to Nick Saban has been there, right? Well, the comparison to Nick Saban is never happy. Like, I mean, yeah, I think Jay Johnson enjoyed winning the national championship for about 38 minutes, and then he was on to trying to do it again. And so that's the same thing Nick Saban was, right? And Urban Meyer talked about that, and that's part of the reason that he got burned out was, yeah, you win the national championship, and then you go in the locker room, you start making recruiting calls, and it's all about meeting tomorrow, the next day, about the next year. Lane Kiffin talked about that. The day after the national championship, they got morning meetings, and they're talking about recruiting and next year, and it's like, man, you can't even enjoy it for 24 hours. And so, I think Jay's like that, and as much as that may not be fun for his family, it's probably a good thing for your baseball team. All right, TK, one last thing before I go, and you'll finish up without me. The halftime show has still gotten some fallout a little bit. There's been some reaction. Donald Trump ripped the halftime show. But the ratings were really good. But here's the interesting stat that I saw: the city of New York, which, let's face it, the city of New York, most of the people were watching the halftime show, not the 5 million people that watch YouTube and watch Kid Rock shows. 5 to 6 million people watch the YouTube. Now it's the views are up to over 30 million. But at the time, there were 5 to 6 million people that consistently watched, that were on YouTube watching the halftime show. But I saw this stat, which was crazy, that ESPN put out. Nearly during the halftime show at the Super Bowl in the city of New York in the 5 suburbs, during that 15 minutes of Bad Bunny's performance, there was a tremendous water usage drop, meaning people were glued to their TV watching it. In the 15 minutes that followed the halftime, there were the equivalent of nearly 800,000 toilet flushes at one time, because people didn't go to the bathroom during halftime. They were watching, and then right after halftime, they went to the bathroom, and there were 800. Then the water pressure dropped because there was the equivalency of nearly 800,000 toilets being flushed around the same time. That's the most New York stat I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to even know how they figured that out or how many people it took to figure it out. It is what it is. That whole fallout from hey, if you wanted to watch Bad Bunny, watch it. You did that. If you wanted to watch Kid Rock, watch it. I did that. People had a choice, and it's your choice to do what you want to do.
Here's the one thing I'll say about it is that I was in the Superdome for Kendrick Lamar. I did watch Bad Money. To me, one did it in Spanish, one did it in English. It was you couldn't understand either. You couldn't understand Bad Money. You couldn't understand Kendrick Lamar either. So didn't bother me like it did everybody else. All right, TK, I'll let you go. We'll talk on Friday, and I'll give you an update on how the College Baseball Hall of Fame induction goes tomorrow night.
Sounds good, Ryan. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget this Saturday we got Sports Shorts Radio for you, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and ESPN Southwest Louisiana, where we air in the Lafayette markets and the Lake Charles markets. And we'll be live at the Walk-Ons in Brewley. Come on out. Their doors open at 11. We get going at 10. Always fun when we go to the Walk-Ons in Brewley. And don't forget to like and share this show, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X. Like and share this show. We appreciate you doing that. Back Friday morning for another episode of Sports Shorts Daily. Have a good Wednesday, everyone. I'm Tommy Krysan. Take care.